Right? Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the You're Worth It show. I am so honored to be your host. My name is Cetra Stevenson, and I am here just to inspire you while giving you tips and strategies on how to live your dreams and reach your goals. My prayer is that you will hear something on this show today, something that will be your aha, your I am moment, so that you will take the necessary steps towards living your best life on purpose. Well, I just want to welcome you all for today. I mean, we have a great show today. I have a full house here in the studio with me because we are going to talk about the Living Your Dreams and Reaching Your Goals workshop. So look, I'm just about to just dive right on into it. I have in the studio with me, I have my co-host over here, Miss Sandy D. Johnson.
Hello,
Welcome.
everyone. I am so excited to be back for another show.
I know. I mean, this is something like going on here. I mean, you're in here like all the time. That's because we have fun.
Yeah, we do.
We have fun in here. And then I have Miss April Griffin in the studio with me today.
Hey, you guys. Appreciate being here.
So welcome. Okay, so this the women over here. So now I gotta throw it to the men on the other side. We have drum roll, Jay Warren here in the studio with us. Welcome, Jay.
Can you hear me? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Man, my voice is deeper than I thought.
Hey.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate
Well,
it.
welcome, Jay. Well, thank you so much. And then we have, come on, drum roll, Mr. Tommy Jones here in the studio with us. Welcome, Tommy.
Hey, man, I am glad to be here. Glad to be a part. I mean, listen, I'm gonna speak for Jay because we were in the parking lot. We were kind of shaking, man. I mean, the women over there, y'all holding it down. So we're gonna do the best we can to try to rep.
Before you even got in, like when I walked in before you, they were like, "Hey, you're Dolo," and I was like, "Don't worry, we like to make the comeback."
Well, I don't know. It's looking like it's going to be like, because we got the women over here and then the men over there.
Red Rover.
Yeah.
Let me come on.
Well, I am just super excited, and I'm so honored to have each and every one of you here in the studio with me today because we are going to be talking about the Living Your Dreams and Reaching Your Goals workshop. So I am very, very excited about that, and that's going to be this Saturday.
Yes.
This Saturday from 10 to 1 at the Meadows Conference Center. So if you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you want to go ahead and reserve your seat. It is limited seating, and we only have a few left. It is free. Free, Free. Free is for who? It's for me.
It's for me.
Right. So it's free. So go ahead and go on Eventbrite, and you can also go on Facebook. It's the Living Your Dreams, Reaching Your Goals workshop. So I'm very excited about that. So I just want to I want you all to just tell our listeners a little bit more about what you do. And because I know in the book, because that's what we're going to be doing, I'm going to be teaching from the book. So each person that's here in the studio with me, they were hand selected by me. So y'all know, look, they doing big things here in the DFW, y'all. So I'm just going to throw it off to you, Jay, because I know that you are a network marketing professional. So tell our listeners a little bit about what you do.
So let me go ahead and get closer. So I'm a network marketing professional. A lot of the stuff that I do and that I teach is the importance of networking and the importance of marketing. I think, especially in my industry, people who are working from home or people who are in my industry, they combine the two, or they don't know how to distinguish the two. So, a lot of the things that I speak about is networking, building your network and, making those connections with people. And then the marketing aspect, how to craft your message to talk to the attract the people that you are looking for in your business.
Because networking, that's very important. Because I always share my story on about how I moved here, and I knew one person.
Wow.
One person, but I knew the importance of networking. You got to get out there. You got to meet people, and then you just build those connections. And then those people who you thought it was just a business relationship, they turn into your friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree with you.
So yeah, so networking is very important. So I want to talk to you, April,
Yes.
because you are a spiritual business coach.
business
So
coach.
at the event, you're going to be talking about the mindset.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit more. Just give them just a little bit,
Just
because
a
we
little
want them to
snippet.
come on Saturday. So just tell our listeners a little bit more about what you do.
Well, really, as a spiritual business development coach, I kind of teach on two aspects. So I help people to understand that, I help people to understand that you have, in order to succeed, success is a two-way thing. A lot of people want to succeed, or they want to do their business, and not realizing that your growth has a lot to do with your own personal development. So you want to grow your business, but you don't want to grow yourself. And so what I teach is teaching them how to grow their self to grow their business, understanding that they're both needed, they're one and the same, and also understanding that success is a matter of the mind. It's a mental capacity. So the more you're conscious, the more you enter into success. And so, that's just in a nutshell. I'm a spiritual business development coach, and that's what I do. I help people from, as we say, from called and going into promise.
Right, because the mindset that's very important, because
Absolutely.
it's how we think. It's
Absolutely.
that saying, if you think you can, you can.
Absolutely.
If you think you can't, you can't.
Yeah.
So it all is in the mind. So that's going to be very, very, oh gosh, I can't wait to hear more about that on
Yes,
Saturday.
yes.
So Miss Sandy D.
Yes.
So you're going to be talking more about time management and self-care, like self-improvement. So tell our listeners a little bit more about what you do.
I'm a I am a vision and accountability coach, and what I do when people have their dreams, their aspirations, their vision for their life, I help them to leap into it. And I give them a parachute of resources so they can land safely with their dream realized, I'm sorry. So on Saturday, I found a really important part of my development was to learn the importance of self-care and taking care of myself, and is not a selfish thing. If you don't take time away to rejuvenate, you have nothing more to give. You can't pour from an empty cup. So I'll be discussing, a little bit about self-care.
Right. Yes, because that's very important. Because as a mom, and you working, so you're doing so many things. And I'm sure that there's men out there too,
Thank you.
guys.
Appreciate the shout out.
But sometimes we get so busy. Got to go to work, got to do this, and all of a sudden you just find yourself just on this wheel, and it's like, okay, well, what about me?
Right.
Sometimes you do have to schedule time for yourself, because you just be overwhelmed.
And for about maybe 3 or 4 years, I've been sponsoring self-care Saturdays. It started off like with me and my girlfriends. We just get together and we plan shenanigans. It's usually shenanigans. Our next one, we're going to learn how to make tamales. We've never made tamales, so we're gonna have a tamale party. If they're listening, y'all know the tamales are coming. We don't know anything about tamale making. It's gonna be us in the YouTube video. So we just kind of find fun stuff to do to get together.
And that's important, because even with the self-care, it comes with the time management. So you want to have it where, of course, you want to schedule your time where you're working, but you also want to schedule the time where you're not so overwhelmed just by work and the kids. You want to have, some free time. So now we're going to take it over to Tommy Jones. Tommy Jones, so you're going to be telling us a little bit more about the importance of having a mentor and a leader. So tell our listeners a little bit more about you and what you do.
Well, as a high performance coach, one of the things that I think is very, very important is having a coach, because what a coach does in a nutshell is they bridge the gap between your now and your not yet. So a lot of times in life, people have skills, but they haven't been discovered, they haven't been developed, but more important, they haven't been disciplined. So when you have a coach in your life, what your coach speaks to is not your past nor your present, but they speak to your potential. And they speak from a place of where you are in the process of going. It was Gerder that said, treat a man as he is and he remains the same, but treat him as he could be and he becomes what he should be. So when you have a coach in your life, they speak from a place of what you are becoming, not what you are.
Wow. Okay, Tommy went deep on us on that one.
What is it that you do again?
So, look, that's just a glimpse of what people are going to get on Saturday. So, when I say if you are in the DFW area, you definitely want to go ahead and reserve your seat. We only have, about 10 seats, if that.
Yes, if that.
If that left.
I think you need to cut it tomorrow.
Yeah, so go ahead and reserve your seat because, you're just getting a glimpse on what Sandy just said, April, Jay, and Tommy. So this is going to be a very powerful, event. So I know that we were talking about networking, Jay. So do you find it networking that it helps your business, what you do?
Well, it's everything about my business, and not just my business, but what I teach too. So what I mean by that is that when you're networking, like with the internet now, we're doing this Facebook Live, and we're able to reach people and connect with people that we obviously our current network, but people we haven't even met yet. So it's a way for us to brand ourselves and get out there. But also, if you are active networking, a lot of people, they want people to come to them. They're just waiting for, they're not getting. I like the Will Smith quote. It's like if you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people are, just waiting to get ready, and they're waiting to, for that perfect client or that perfect customer to come to them. But with networking, that's something that's in your control. So you can go out there and meet people. There's networking groups out there, meetup.com. There's all these different resources where you go out there and meet people. And then depending on what your industry is, you can get really specific with the internet. So, if you are, say, for example, you're a coach, a business coach, or, spiritual coach, or a person, who's, writes visions, there's, groups out there and people out there that you can connect with just like that, rather than going to a networking group that are talking about something that you have nothing in common with. So, yeah, networking is everything. You definitely you gotta connect with people.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, because we met
Yeah.
at a networking event.
Absolutely,
That was years
yeah.
ago.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And that's what's crazy about this whole situation is because we met, we connected. I think you were insurance at the time. It's been about a year, and then things have changed.
Right.
You have sold your business, and now you have a radio show. So
Right.
that's just the point of networking. And the thing is, people want the instant gratification, when they're building a business, and it's just that's not going to happen. So everything is meant to happen when it happens. So
Yes.
that's really the point of networking.
Right. And it's building those relationships.
Absolutely.
Because just think, like you say, we met a year ago, probably longer than that. And now we're still connected and we're still helping each other today.
Absolutely.
So networking is very important. So Tommy, I'm going to jump to you because I know the importance of having a coach and a mentor. Do you have a coach?
Yes, I have actually about 3 different coaches that represent different areas of my life that I need opportunities for growth. So I think it's very, very important. Again, I can't say it enough that you have a coach. For me, I have a financial coach. I have a guy that speaks into my life, and we sit down once a year from a financial standpoint and look at what I'm doing and what I need to be doing to reach the goals and dreams that I've laid before him. Make sure that I'm on track for my 5-year plan. As a speaker and an author, I have another coach, and she pushes me, beyond pushing me in that area. And then also there is the last component is I have a spiritual mentor that kind of helps govern that part of my life to make sure that I stay centered and that I stay relevant, not only in the world, but also in the kingdom.
Right, because that's very important. I'm glad that you say, too, that you have a financial coach.
Yes.
Because a lot of us, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's very important. So Sandy,
Yes,
now I
ma'am.
know that you do vision experiences.
Yes, vision board experience.
Vision board experience. So why is it important for people to see their vision and to put it down?
It's important to put your vision down because once you put it down, it becomes reality and you can start setting your plan. Sometimes we're too afraid to even dream big. So when you do your vision board, it's a vision board. It's not a reality board. We're not going to put Sally Mae and our loan debt on there.
Right.
We're not going to put, our light bill and those things. We're going to put our actual vision, what we want to see, what we hope to see on that board to expand our mind. When we come in, I do activities to kind of shake off what's going on in your life and set your mindset. So once that mindset is open, you're open to dreaming, putting whatever you want on there, and then we actually go further and set 3 concrete goals with the help and accountability partnership that will be in motion within 30 to 60 days. So I go beyond just let's put it on there, but you have to have your vision board present.
Right.
It has to be a part of you, and you have to watch it, and that stuff will manifest itself.
It
really does.
Because I remember I did a vision board back when I was in Michigan, and I had Texas on my vision board. And look, and I'm here today. And I always tease my son. He's 25 now, so he was probably like 12 or 13 when he did his vision board. So he put a Ford Fusion on there, so Ford Fusion's not cool right now, right? They're not cool when you're 25, right?
Yes.
So when we moved here, I had a Ford Fusion. Then I bought another car, so I gave him my Ford Fusion, and I told him, I said, remember when you put that on your vision board years ago? He didn't think it was funny though, but I did. But I say, see, but you put it on there,
And you got
so
it.
now you see. That it came true. So
My oldest daughter, everything on her vision board, her last one that she did like in 12th grade has manifested itself.
Yes.
She wanted to find her style. She wanted to go to HBCU. She's about to graduate in May with her degree from a HBCU. She has established her style. Both of my daughters went to college to expand their mind, and they both lost their hair. They're both they have little afros now. I don't know what happened. I don't know. They had a 2-for-1 at the barber shop. I'm not sure. She's trying to hide it from me, but I'm looking at an Instagram thing like, is that her? What happened to her hair? So, but she's established her style, even though I would prefer to her have hair, but she's established her style. So everything on her board has become reality. So it's really important to establish your vision.
Right.
And don't let your current circumstances, which are temporary, determine what you put on there.
right. So yes,
Because vision trumps circumstances.
right, and that is so true. So April, I know that you are a spiritual
Yes.
business coach, and I think that that's very important because I can say, I'm a believer. Okay, I'm a believer, and so you get a lot of people where they say, okay, well, I'm waiting on God
Right.
to do this. I'm waiting on God, but I'm glad that you're doing that coaching because they got to apply the principles too.
Yeah, you know
Okay.
what? And it's at the end of the day, it's honestly, it's all about the principles of the kingdom. And so what I do is I teach kingdom principles for businesses. And so when you think about growth and development, the truth of the matter is like, and when it comes to African Americans, when it comes to us growing something, the only thing that we truly have grown successfully is the church. And the reason why is because we use kingdom principles of community and kingdom, and we grew the church. And so we taken those same things on our network called Faith Walkers Network, and we're building your business with kingdom principles. And we're giving you a community. We're not just giving you resources and information. So we do give resources, we do give information, but we're also giving you a community of businesses to work with. So that way you have no excuse. You got every resource you need. You got people that can give you best practices. You got people that can give you tips. You got people that you can talk to right at your fingertips, and you can get the information that you need through the training and different things like that.
Right, because that's very important.
Absolutely.
So instead of people just saying, "Oh, I'm just waiting,"
I'm just waiting on the Lord.
God,
The Lord is like, I'm just waiting on you. That's why it's called Faith Walkers Network, because if you're not walking in faith, how can you manifest anything you're not walking out?
Yes.
Right, that is so true. Preach.
Come on. I'm trying not to.
Right. Well, we have Mr. Kevin Lawrence here in the studio with us.
There
Thank
we
you
go.
for
Get comfy. Yeah,
joining
you guys
us.
are
Well, welcome.
Thank you. How are y'all?
We are doing great. So I just want you to tell our listeners a little bit about you and what you do. I know that you are on your brilliance. And I know at the workshop that you're going to be talking more about taking risks. So I watch you on Facebook as you do your Facebook Live.
I've got my friends right here today. So they're
As you
watching.
do your Facebook Live. And I love that because it's getting outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
So tell our listeners a little bit more about you and why did you start that challenge?
Okay. I started that challenge because I, like a lot lot of other people, I was told, oh, my son's going to be a doctor. Or, oh, all the time I kept hearing all the different things I was going to do growing up. You know how we are in this little box and they say, oh, you need to make so much money a year, or you need to have this job, or have this kind of house, or that kind of whatever. But one day I asked myself, well, what do I want? Who am I?
Right.
And I was telling somebody today, I was talking to a friend this morning, and I said, it's like waking up in a dream many, many years going, how did I get here? Who am I? And what am I going to do about it? So now life is already going. You've already got
Yes.
the career, whether you like it or not,
Right.
in this box. And I'm going, how do I find my voice? So when I got on Facebook Live and I started challenging a lot of my gladiators from Speaking Right, a lot of speakers and authors and business owners, here's what happened. Every day I went live, I began to find out there were days I had content, and then there were days I would go, Have you guys ever done it before?
Right,
You didn't
like,
want to
what
go
am I
live?
talking about?
Right. But the weirdest thing was this, though, and this is what hit the girl this morning. She was like, oh, my God, this is great. But what happened was, I was going to do one today about playing it out. But then what really happened came out was be you. And with the be you was more like, don't worry about planning it out, because that's that script where I'm still trying to look a certain way, be a certain way, because that's what life says I'm supposed to do.
Right.
But then when I say be you, that actually requires maybe some reflection, a little quiet. And then in
Right.
all of that, how do I find my own brilliant, unique voice, so to speak, in the midst of just being human, goofy, crazy, but still there's something unique inside of me. And so when I started asking a lot of people, especially at that conference, you guys like to go live? What I heard a lot of people, oh, no. But every time I did it and I gave them an intro, all of a sudden they would come to life. So what the Facebook challenge is if we keep going live 21 days, every single day, by the time you get to day 15, we'll find yourself on the other side of confidence.
Right.
By the time we get to day 16, all of a sudden your voice within is going to start pulling out. By the time we're at day 17 and 18, now we're not going to the internet to go get information or go get high or go get, so to speak, entertainment. But now we're actually contributing to the internet. Now we're not just going to seek a word, but now we're starting to give a word, and not only give one, but be a word.
Yes.
So that's what
Right.
that Facebook Live challenge is, and that's what Owning Your Brilliance is all about. Finding how you get your own unique voice out there so that the world can realize, hey, you're special too.
Right.
Yeah.
And I love how you said that, because a lot of times people do try to tell us, well, you should do this or you should
Absolutely.
do that. I remember when I was when I first got out of high school, my grandparents, I got a job at the post office. And so I was miserable. I only worked there and nothing to get the post office.
Right.
But I was miserable. But I remember my grandparents saying, you don't quit that good job.
Exactly.
You supposed to
Exactly.
stay there. But I'm like, but I'm young. I feel like I'm working too hard. I'm doing. But she was like, well, you're making like 50,000, 60,000, and that was good. If you're barely 21. But I'm like, but that's not what I want to do.
Right.
So, but you have so many people telling you should do this and try to shape your life for you. It's like, okay, well, what do I want to do? And you lose yourself because so many people have been telling you what you should do. And so that's how the whole I am worth it, when I came up with that, because I didn't know my worth. And it came from a bad side because people was telling me, what I was and what I couldn't do. And I'm like, wait a minute, I can. I can do it. I just have to believe in myself. So
Right.
that's great. So
you.
we are going to take a quick break. I told y'all, we're just giving y'all a glimpse of what y'all are going to get on Saturday, y'all. So just stay tuned. We are going to take a quick break. We will be right back.
All right, we'll be right back.
So we're still on Facebook. We're still streaming. We're still live streaming. Just want to remind you.
Hey, Sandy, look at Jay. He got to sit down.
He getting ready. I feel like he calling me out.
Well, we are back here and we are live, and I have here in the studio with me, I have Tommy Jones here in the studio with me. Thank you again for joining me.
No, thank you for being the architect of this amazing show and this vision that you have. You made it very easy to want to come and be a part of what you're doing and the lives that you're touching.
Wow, I'm just super excited, y'all, about Saturday. Like for real. You know, when people say for real, that means that means it's true, right? Okay.
But for real.
Right, and I'm just so excited. I have Jay Warren here in the studio with me. Thank you again, Jay.
I mean, I just, piggyback off what Tommy said. I mean, honored. Just, you have everything set up, and it makes it easy for me just to come up here and just,
Yeah.
to speak. It's usually I'm the creator of this stuff, but just step in and just let kind of just sit back and be with these rock stars. I'm straight.
Yeah, because you got the other rock star next to you. Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, thank you again for joining us. I am, like I said, I am just super excited, about Saturday, and I just thank you, for joining us, because I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's my pleasure to serve. It's gonna be great.
Yes, and then thank you again, Miss April Griffin, here in the studio with me.
Yes, and I'm happy to be here. Just seeing your show come to fruition from beginning to today. So I'm grateful to see the progress, the road. She is actually living what she's talking about. So this is the real deal. This is not. She is living it. So that's good.
Well, I think because you see me at the beginning.
I've seen you from the beginning of the
I was coming to you like April, like help.
Yeah, from the beginning of the beginnings, and it's it's been a road, but your development of the show and the concept and how everything has unfolded, it's just mind blowing. It really shows you that there is nothing that you can't do when you put your mind to it. That it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. I mean, whether you got kids, whether you single mama, whether you got jobs, whether you don't got jobs, there is nothing that can stop you but you. That is so the truth.
Right. Wow. I just thank
So
you.
the truth.
And thank you, Miss Sandy D.
Well, you're welcome. I'm always honored to be on. Is it good? I'm always honored to be on your show.
Yeah.
I am worth it. And I'm looking so forward to Saturday and be able to speak to people and just be able to contribute to people. One of my biggest things that motivate me is seeing people living their dreams.
Yes.
Honestly, achieving, living, leaping into what they're supposed to be in their purpose.
Yes, and I'm going to share on Saturday too, and I'll just give you just a glimpse on how living your dreams and reaching your goals came about. I started it back in 2015, and it started from my son. He called me and he said, "Mom, the lights don't work." And he's a little kid. I think he was like 10 at the time. And I'm like, what do you mean? I said, them people, they came over here, they broke our lights. And he was like, well, no, everybody else's lights are on. And I was like, oh, I'm about to call them people and tell them don't be coming over here playing with our lights. But little did he know that I was broke. I didn't even have enough money to pay the light bill. So I came home and, me being a mom, I'm like, okay, we're going to make this a fun day. We camped out. We made a pallet on my in my bedroom. For those of you who don't know what a pallet is throwing a blanket on the floor. Throwing a blanket on the floor and sleeping. So it was like one of the best nights I've ever had with him because we talked. We didn't have the TV. We didn't have the cell phones. We didn't have any of that to distract us. So I was talking to him to find out, what's going on with him. And when he went to sleep, I pulled out my laptop and I had just enough power in my laptop where I created a PowerPoint. And the PowerPoint was living your dreams, reaching your goals. So I got this real pretty slide that I put together. And it was just basically me just really just saying, okay, God, like, I know that there's more. I feel it. Have you ever had it where you just feel it inside? I know that there's more. Just show me. And I did a whole PowerPoint presentation in like 10 minutes. And as he was downloading, I'm like, okay, well, this is it. These are the steps. Living your dreams. Here's the steps. This is what I need to reach my goals. So that's how living your dreams came about. So sometimes, God, he will show us. We discover our purpose through our pain. Yeah. So I didn't know by me, getting up front, telling people, look, this came about because I was broke. I have a master's degree in business. I have an undergrad in management. At the time, I was owning an insurance agency. I mean, I had staff, I had an office, I had all of that. But I couldn't tell people, look, I'm hurting. I'm broke. I can't even pay. I don't even have $100 to pay my light bill. And so that's how that came about. So I said, okay, God, I want to speak to the ones that's hurting because we all are going through something. We all have a story. What is it that I can do to encourage people, to inspire them to live their dreams? We all have dreams. And like April says, she don't want to just be living it. She want to be walking in it. You don't want to just be dreaming. Even like with the vision board, we have the stuff on our board, but we want those things. But it takes action. It takes steps. We have to move. And that's what it's about. So that's how the living your dreams came about. So that's why I said I'm very excited, to have each and every one of you, because each and every one of you, is very dear. And I hand selected you because I knew that you were perfect for this event. And I know that the people, what you're going to pour into the people, and they're going to receive. And that's my whole goal. How can we help people? That's what I'm about. So I just got a question for you guys. Are you living your dreams? So I'm going to start with you, Jay.
So listening to your story just kind of took me back a little bit when I started in my business too. And, when I started my first network marketing company, I was actually with my ex-girlfriend at the time. And, we had, you have these huge expectations in just a short period of time. And there was some level of success that we hit early, but we hit a ceiling. So once we hit that ceiling, and I know Sandy's going to talk about this on Saturday, but we had separate visions, which is kind of difficult, especially when you're building with someone. That if your vision's one way and somebody's vision's the other, it's going to be hard to continue that growth. So after basically we split, I think that business ended up failing, but it was one of the things where I was by myself. It felt like mentally, emotionally, building the business, and I had to just look inside myself and be like, all right, what am I going to do? There's you talk about staff and all that stuff. Boy, I'm glad I didn't have no staff because I would have had to let them the bad news. Yeah, I had to let them go. It was bad news, but it's just a lot of self-reflection. But I share a little bit of that because prior to me playing basketball, I was living the dream as far as seeing the world. That's what I wanted to see. Y'all were talking about writing stuff down. I remember writing places that I wanted to go, and I end up kind of just like you said about Texas, and there's places that I end up playing that I had no idea how I was going to get there. Zero clue, but it manifested just because I wrote it down. So just writing it down, I was able to live my dream with basketball. Now in business, it's been, it was a struggle in the beginning because I wasn't using those same principles that I did in basketball, and they are the same principles. So once you realize that, basically in life, in business or coaching, he's talking about he had 3 coaches. I have a coach and everything still. And I didn't know how important the coaches were at the time either. I didn't have a business coach when I first started. But that's something that you need. You need a business coach because they've been there. You want to get there. You need somebody to actually help you get there. So am I living my dream? I am. I am. But I still have. But I'm not living it to my full potential yet. There's still a lot more to go.
Right.
So.
Okay. Wow. What about you, Tommy? Are you living your dream?
Unequivocally, yeah. I think for me, I'm living it unapologetically. I'm living it out loud. I'm living it intentional. And one of the things that I would share with people that are thinking about coming on Saturday is that they probably sit here, because I've done it before too, and you listen to the quote unquote experts and you're like, well, these people have it all together. They can't relate to me. Well, what happens is that typically a person's resume is their highlight reel. And so you don't hear, the stories like Cetra just shared about, the lights being cut off and you're the person that everybody comes to for the answers, and you are left with all the questions. And so a lot of times people don't understand that the visionary, sometimes that there's you're searching for clarity in the chaos as the visionary, and you're trying to figure it out, and you're like, man, am I going the right way? And you doubt yourself and say, okay, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Because surely if it was, then my lights wouldn't be out. Or surely if it was, then my relationship wouldn't have ended with this person that I really cared about. So that must be a sign that I'm doing something wrong. But it may be a sign that you're doing something right, because it's a rites of passage. What I tell people all the time is people get so caught up in the promise that they forget the process. And every successful self-made person that I know went through the process, and it's a maturation. It's a maturation that you go through, because the importance, and Sandy's going to talk about this on Saturday, the importance of setting goals and dreams is not so much the attainment of the goal, but it's who you become in the process. On the way to the goal, that makes you. So when you ask, well, Tommy, are you living your dreams, and are you living your purpose? Because I see road marks and indicators as I'm on my journey to greatness, I can emphatically say, yes, I'm living my purpose.
Well, what about you, Kevin? Are you living your dreams?
Am I living my dreams? That's an interesting question. I can definitely say yes on that as well. At first, I used to think living my dream meant I had to be completely where I thought I was going to be, on the stage completely, writing a book, have everything done. But the living is the same as owning your brilliance. So am I living it? Absolutely. Because right now I'm writing the book. Where you actually asked me to speak this Saturday, and then when the invite was extended today, I was completely honored. I was sharing with somebody earlier today that it's funny how sometimes when I'm looking at how can I be my total highest and best self, I'm working for it, I'm stretching for it, I'm reaching for it. But then when I look back, I'm going, look how far I've come.
Yes.
Though I may not be all the way where I'm trying to go,
Right.
but then will I ever be? So the longer I keep stretching and reaching and growing for it, I always look back and go, that's good. So just
Right.
reflecting on where I've come from and how we're actually impacting different people, even here, just online, all abroad. Am I living it? Absolutely. Sharing that message of how do you own that brilliance? How do you walk in your brilliance? And for a lot of my people, just giving yourself permission to first discover it,
Right.
then be you when you figure out what that is. And then from that, how do you begin to cultivate that and share it with somebody else who's maybe locked up and not quite sure, knowing they know that voice is inside, but I'm in this situation. I know I'm in there, and yet I'm stuck over here. And you're trying to find out, how do I build structure to get to the truth of who I am? So am I
Right.
living it? Absolutely.
Yes, and you're taking the steps, and that's right. Because then when you look back, you're like, look, I'm not where I used to be.
Right.
Right.
And that feels so good.
I know, don't it? Yeah. So what about you, Miss April? Are you living your dreams?
So when you say living your dreams, for me, I have a dream that I'm growing in. So for me, it's like my dream is so big that it needs me to grow into it like a pair of shoes. And so when you talk about me living my dream, am I living in it? Yes, I'm living in it, but I am expanding in it as well. And so my prayer is that by the time that this is all over, that I will have expanded to fulfill all of the dream that I've seen. But so I'm just living a part of it right now. So that would be where I am. I'm living a part of it. So it's exciting.
That's good. What about you, Sandy?
Thank you for making me laugh. So I had time to formulate it. At first, when you asked that, my first response, the first thought that came to my mind was no. Because I really just started my business seriously in January. So it's been a year. But then the next thought, God said, no, you have been. Because everything up until this point was for purpose. My single parenting journey has prepared me for my business. I set the vision for my children that they were going to be college graduates and different things. And that's the same thing I'm now birthing with my business. You know, sometimes in your business, you get tired, you get wore out. But my children, once, I'm just going to share this one little story. I had did an event because I've been doing events for years, like weddings, and I did a bridal shower, and I was wore out because I have an issue with doing everything. I cooked the food, I did the games, I did everything. So we had all this leftover spaghetti. So I had my nephew come over to watch my young children while I just took a nap because I was wore out. And when I woke up, they were in the basement. We were still in Detroit. And they had proceeded to take and have a spaghetti fight with ground beef and tomato sauce. It was spaghetti down my stairs, on the walls, on the floor, all over them. So that's those type of things. And when I thought I had no more to give, I couldn't leave the spaghetti down. So I had to pull up a little bit more strength as I threw them in the bathtub with all that spaghetti on them. When I say it was sauce everywhere, and my nephew was about 11 and he started it. I know he did. And so, but that gave me the strength that I need
Shout out to
now.
your nephew.
The strength now to when I get ready to give up, when I get tired, all those things has prepared me for the greater.
Right.
That's good.
Can I say something on this? And I really wanted to say this for the people watching on Facebook and listening. When they're saying, "Are you living your dreams?" and Sandy said, "At first, I said no." The reason why it really hit me is, guys, we're actually living it, whether we're all the way at the top or just getting started. Don't ever look at the small beginnings and think, "Oh, I'm not living my dreams," because we actually are.
Yes.
It's just, can I keep working and doing and shaping so that what I see externally also matches what's internal.
Right.
And if it's not like that today, just reflect on it and say, now, what is a gap to the goal and how do I change and work?
Right.
But never thinking that just because I made it to a place called there,
Right.
now I'm living the
Now,
dream.
right.
No, the whole place is called here, right here. Am I working? Am I doing?
Right.
Because the ing is the ing. Living is working on it. It's working in it. So that's what I wanted to make sure people know. It's
Yeah.
not a place or a destination. We are doing it, evolving it, growing it, shaping, becoming it, and manifesting it. So yes, we're living it.
Right. And that's
I'm excited about this event. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
About Saturday.
right, and that's so true because even when we talk about living your dreams, some people think of the big picture, and I just say,
Right.
just me speaking right here in front of you.
Absolutely.
That's living, my dream. Just me getting up, just speaking. Period, is living my dream.
Yes.
Because I remember, and I'm going to share this story, and I'm going to be really fast with it. When I was in college, it was speech. I was in the I had to do my speech. We had to get up in front of the class and do our presentation. So I got up there and I talked about voting. Okay, why voting is important, your vote counts, yada, yada, yada. So the next person that came behind me, the very next person came behind me and he said, "Oh, why your votes don't matter? Oh, it's the delegates that count." So it just shot my whole confidence. So I thought I gave this good speech and I was nervous, to speak in front of people. And I was, very nervous. And so I said, okay. So what if I would have gave up? So, you should have saw me I was just sad. Like, okay, like how did he just steal my self-esteem just that fast?
Oh, wow.
So the teacher told me, he said, okay, well, you did great, but really the class was looking at me like, oh, like laughing at me because growing up, I tell the story too. I stuttered really, really fast. And in elementary school, I was in a speech class. And back then it wasn't speech for learning how to get in front of people. It was really like it's like you need some help. Like you behind me. Okay, CJ, look, you call me. So that's what it was. So I already, growing up was thinking, okay, well, I can't do this.
Right.
I can't speak because am I going to speak really, really fast? Am I going to, then I got to think about the guy that just stole my dream when I'm up here talking about vote and count.
Right.
But me just being right here is living my dream.
Exactly. This whole
Yes.
conversation is
Yes.
just amazing because I'm actually stimulated inside seeing like-minded people sharing and talking about
Absolutely.
just
Yes.
this is living the dream.
Living the dream. So we don't
Yeah,
have to.
I think you phrased the question wrong, and that's why I answered it wrong. I'm messing around. But no, I'll piggyback on what you said. It is,
We are living it. Every time when you go to an event, every time when you speak, every time when you touch a life, every time when someone say, you know what, Tommy, thank you. That's living the dream.
Well, and that's why it's so important that I say all the time that your yes comes with strings attached.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is that the strings that are tied to your yes are not necessarily for you, but it's for those that you're called to help pull out of the dark places of their lives. So that it was very important, Cetra, that you started to craft your gift and become mute to the opinions of others in that speech class, because that's giving you the intestinal fortitude to push through. And just look, guys, right now, your yes, Cetra, has affected all of us, because we wouldn't be here.
Same thing.
If you wouldn't have said yes to your greatness, then none of us are here. If you wouldn't have said yes to your greatness, the event that we're going to attend on Saturday would not have existed. So we are standing shoulder to shoulder in your decision to say yes, and we're all benefiting from your yes. So your yes, sweetheart, comes with strings attached, and your strings have attached us and the people that we're attached to help pull out of the shadows of their self-imposed limitations. So there's power in your yes.
And you know what? Can I add something? Because something that you said is so important about her yes. Because something, and we're going to talk about this on Saturday, so I'm not going to really get into it, but it's a part that I talk about of finding out who you are. You know, either you're being the visionary, you're the person being prepared for a vision, or you're the person that's serving somebody else's vision. So with her yes, it has what it's done is it opened doors for everybody to do what they are doing, what they're called to do. And so you just never know from this day where anybody here is going to go. That's number one. And then the lives that we are going to affect just by doing what we're doing on Saturday.
Yeah.
You know, and just feeling the energy and the conversation and the level of conversation, I can tell that people are going to be changed Saturday.
Yeah.
I can tell that people's lives are going to be like, you know what, if they're doing it, I hear them, I see them, they're walking it out. And really all people need is something that makes them say, okay, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because really the only thing that's stopping is stopping people is the go.
Yeah.
They have a fear of go. You know?
And I think that one of the things that I'm so excited that the reason that Cetra put this on is that what she's basically doing by hosting this for the people that can hear me that are going to come Saturday is she's giving you permission to find your yes. She's giving you permission to say, hey, it's not always going to be pretty, but it's going to be practical, but more importantly, it's going to be worth it. And there's a little small void in you that will not be fulfilled as long as you keep playing small. And if you were to put all 6 of us in a separate room and interview us, the one common denominator that would repeatedly come up after speaker or presenter after presenter is that me playing small no longer was comfortable. So I had to get uncomfortable to become comfortable. And so for the people that are coming on Saturday, that's okay that you're not comfortable. That's okay that you don't fit
Yeah.
the status quo. You know, so I mean, all of that is fine. They say all the time that comparison is the thief of all joy. Stop comparing yourself. I posted something the other day that said the people that I rock with, they don't look to the left or to the right for competition. They look in the mirror.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only person that's the only person you should be trying to up level and outdo
Yep.
is the previous you from yesterday.
Right.
That's it.
Benjamin Franklin also said that when you don't even look at anybody else and you just only look at you, you don't even have a rival. It's just you by yourself doing your thing. This whole conversation is so funny. I'm writing this book, right? And in the middle of writing the book, I started doing this Facebook module because a lot of people were saying, how do I go live? How do I do this? So I'm actually writing a product. And the funny thing about it, it's actually in line with what we're talking about here and owning your brilliance. Because module number 1 is give yourself permission. That's whether to go live. That's whether to be brilliant. That's whether to be worth it. Module number 2, which is so hilarious, was be you. And I had to actually ask myself, how do I break down the steps to actually show people how do you be you so they can hear their voice? Then module number 3 talks about let's brainstorm and look at content. But if you can't give yourself permission to be worth it, you can't give yourself permission, come out Saturday and see us and be brilliant. How do you even get to know what that voice is?
Right.
So it's funny, but when I was writing a program, I was thinking, this is cool for people's personal development. They want to get this. That's great. But as we're talking about this, it just kind of made me realize most of the people, including me, did not want to go live because they were
was
not
me.
comfortable with giving themselves permission and just finding out what does me look like. Who would listen when I go live? who would want to hear what I have to say? And furthermore, what is it that I have to say?
Right.
That's the whole crux of what we were doing. So I'm loving this conversation.
And you'll
kind of-
find, I'm sorry, you'll find when you finally take that leap and say that first yes. My first yes came this past May when I decided to jump on a plane and go to San Diego to Lisa Nichols' conference.
That's where we met.
I wanted to turn around, yes. And I felt like you don't belong here. You're around greatness. And I wanted to someday stay in my room, but I had some amazing roommates that was like, we're going. So when that first yes came and I leaped, you find yourself it's easier to say yes to the next one, and the opportunities and the doors and the yeses just continue to come.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I guess to piggyback what both of you guys are saying, when you say give yourself permission, I obviously we want to see you there Saturday, and all of us will give you permission. But my question to, you guys who are listening is, what are you waiting for? Like, everybody's saying they give their self permission. And, Sandy's story about, about greatness and stuff like that, talking about that she's was surrounded by all this greatness, but, she was, when I hear that, I'm like, okay, she's attracting greatness, and she just stepped into where, instead of thinking that, they're up there, then she was like, okay, this is, I'm a part of this. But giving yourself permission is the first step. Tommy was talking about being uncomfortable. I mean, everybody in this room has been uncomfortable, whether it's Facebook Live, whether it's talking to strangers, whether it's networking, whatever it is that you're going through. Everybody in this room has been through it. So, we're even though that, we are going back to living your dreams, to living our dreams, everybody here has been in a similar situation. Maybe not, financially or anything like that, but as entrepreneurs and as business owners, there's everything that we've been through that you guys are probably going through right now. And when you come out to the event, we're going to give you solutions to those problems on how to get through it. But you do have to give yourself permission to get started.
And let me say something really quickly too. What happens now? So this is something as a spiritual business development coach that I do. What happens is, as you're listening to us, no pops in your head. And as for the average person, what happens is, as you listen to, you say, it's a negative. It'll say, I can't do that. Not me. They're not talking about me, or I can't do that. So you'll hear this broadcast. You'll go to the event even and hear it. And the negative always comes first. And whenever you see the negative, that's because your yes is on the other side. So whenever the negative comes, as you're hearing what you can't do, as we're saying, yes, you can, yes, you can, yes, you can, and that block that says, no, you can't, you got to jump over that hurdle.
Yeah.
You got to jump over the hurdle.
And so what happens to that when it comes to the self-talk, faith comes by
Self-talk,
hearing.
thank you.
Faith comes by hearing, and then we only see that which we believe. So what happens is that it starts in your mind, and there's a spiritual component to the Bible talks about the renewing of the mind, but then there's also a scientific component called neuroplasticity, and it's talking about when you rewire the brain and how you can retrain and you can learn and unlearn, but it starts with talk. It talks with what you say. The scripture says, as a man thinketh, so is he. That's what the word says. But from a neuroscience standpoint, it talks about the same thing. It was Earl Nightingale that said, we're all self-made, but it's only the successful people that will admit it. Right. So what that really means is it starts with our self-talk. So what happens is that when you don't have a good vision of yourself, you need to get around other people, and it becomes contagious. So that's why I'm so excited about my sister's book, You're Worth It, period. So when that self-talk creeps up and it begins to tell you who you're not and what you're not and what you can't do, you shut that down with one phrase,
Yes.
I'm worth it.
I know that.
I'm
right?
worth the struggle. I'm worth the fight for the highest and best version of myself to emerge through this process. So I'm pretty sure when Cetra was laying on that floor with tears running down her face, holding her baby, she was like, I'm worth it. This too shall pass.
Yes.
And you got to talk yourself.
Yes.
You have to talk yourself out of this situation, because the words that leave our mouth never leave our life. They go into the future and they wait for us. So everything in your current season is a harvest of what you said in your previous season. So if you don't like what you're harvesting, change what you're planting.
Come on.
So that is very important from a neuro-linguistic standpoint.
That's good.
We have what we say, period. It's a manifestation. Like, for example, when Cetra gave the invitation to come, I think we all got it about a week ago. Everyone said yes a week ago.
Right.
So our yes permeated the future, and it waited for a set time for us to physically catch up with our yes. So our words are always a trailblazer or an indicator of what's to come in our lives.
Yes. Come on, that's so good.
You're working.
And we have to get to the point that when stuff is really opposing us and coming, to push through that, because it's a reason for that.
Right.
Even like the trip to San Diego, it was so much. I think I got on that plane almost in tears. Then my plane got canceled coming back because I'm going to be honest, I didn't play that conference full out because of the self-doubt. So in my plane ended up getting canceled. Me and Tommy were supposed to fly back on the same plane, and we ended up stuck in San Diego for another day.
Yes.
So I ended up staying with one of my roommates was staying another night, and she had this real weird hotel. It like had a twin bed. She's like, "Well, you can sleep with me." I'm like, "I'm gonna sleep on the floor." And at 4
Gonna get a
o'clock,
pallet.
That's
how we did it in church.
And at 4 o'clock in the morning, the Lord just started to download and download and download. But He needed me there for another day to quiet me,
Wow.
to really hear from Him. Because if not, I would have jumped right back into doing what I did, letting that doubt be there. So you have to learn to press through. When everything is going wrong, it's because something right is about to
Come
happen.
on.
Come on,
Oh,
girl.
and I have to say, because I am that right. Let me tell you, I only met you guys, and would have only met you and Tommy had your flight not.
Come on,
been
girl.
delayed.
Yes.
Wow.
So here's what I've been learning as well.
Networking.
That
Yes, there you go.
Same.
sometimes when I think, oh, this is not working right, it's not going according to my plan, or back to that question, am I living my dream? Which dream is it? Or what is it that sometimes they were living? Because sometimes it's the societal dream of you got to be be married with a car, 2 kids, have 2-car garage, picket
Picket
fence
fence.
total in the backyard. Or
the
are you
50s.
living the
The
dream
50s
that was
dream.
created and manifested
Right.
for you? Those TV commercials and all the things that we see, are we doing what they say, or am I really being who I'm supposed to be and being my own unique brilliance? So when I go back to when you guys were stranded, so to speak, and on one hand you can say, oh my God, this was so wrong. I can't believe this happened. What y'all don't know is there's somebody on the other side going, God, Jesus, I'm so grateful that I met these
Right.
guys.
Yes. Right.
Because when I met them, that's when they invited me to Speakers Are Us. And that's when I came and got a chance to contribute and meet a bunch of great people like
And
you
that's
guys.
how we met.
That's
Yeah.
how we met.
Yes,
So,
because
too, yep.
Right.
I did not see him at the conference. He was even on stage, and I had left out while he was on stage, so I didn't see any of that. And I looked up in the airport, and he was just standing there. I was trying to see if you have on your bracelet. I'm like, "Where's your
I got my bracelets on right now.
Right now, and we began to talk.
Right.
And Tommy, I pulled him over, and we just all connected right there
Right.
in DFW.
Right. So are we living the dream?
Right.
Even when it doesn't look like it, say yes.
Yes.
Even when it doesn't feel like it, say yes. Because if you know you're even just thinking about it, or on occasion even just writing something down, you may be living a slow dream. But it doesn't have to manifest into the full blown out to say I'm living.
Right.
And so that's the whole kind of, I love the ing and all these words and
Yes.
questions we're
Right,
asking.
because
That's-
that
that's
means
the
it's
living.
continuing, right?
Yes.
Because even when we talk about life, everyone is going. Everybody has went through something, grown through something, or going to go through something.
Absolutely.
So I always I share the story about when I moved here to Texas, how I didn't know about the Texas storms. They're different. Now, when you up north, it's going to snow from November to February, so you prepare. But I wasn't prepared for the Texas storm. So I remember my first time I was driving from Houston back to Dallas, and it was storming really, really bad. And I'm just scared. Like, do I stop? Do I keep going? Do I turn around? What do I do? So I'm crying the whole time, like, what do I do? What do I do? But I kept going. And 5 minutes later, the sun was out.
Wow.
Wow.
It was like 80
That's it.
degrees.
That's it.
So when I share that, I talk about life.
Yes.
Come on, girl.
Sometimes we go through the
Yes.
storm.
Come on.
But you just keep going and just know that the sun is going to shine.
On the other side.
You're
Yeah.
going to get through it.
And that's about self-awareness right there. He's talking about we're talking about the self-talk, we haven't really got into self-discipline that much, but, I got to be self-aware. And this is, why you guys should be coming out, Saturday, because, everybody here, and obviously you guys can speak for yourself, but everybody remembers their first event that they went to. and they probably have, maybe have a connection with that person that they went to that first event. So coming to this event on Saturday, it could build a 20-year relationship. You just never know. That's the importance of networking. They just shared the story about how they met in the airport. She's in tears. She has self-doubt. The plane gets delayed. All this stuff is purposely designed. And what he was talking about, speaking, you're speaking this stuff, and then all of a sudden it manifests itself, and it's at the perfect time. So that's the importance of events. You got to get to these events. You got to get to where people are. You got to get around people who are living their dreams.
Yes.
People who think that they're worth it. And once you get around those people, then your dreams will start coming true. You'll start knowing, okay, I am worth it.
Right.
It's that important. So stressing. Get there on Saturday, because you're going to be around. If you want to win, you got to be around winners. You can't be around losers.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
Your circle is everything. When I
Yes.
left Speaking Right, when I left that conference, I had an amazing, supportive circle that understood out the box thinking, that understood that everybody's not going to be in your court. They understood, and it's important to really get yourself a tribe.
Right.
So since you were talking about worth, Jay, so I have a question. What are you worth?
Well, it's what. So it's a trick question. It's an open-ended question. so I know what you're asking me. You
What are
talking
you
about?
worth? I ask everyone that comes in here, what are you worth?
So I remember going to. I don't even know if they have. It's not. I don't remember. It was in Australia, and I got up at this event in Australia. And I told them, they're like, what is it that you want to do? I told them, I want to be the most valuable person that, people, I want people to come to me. I want to be the resource where people come to, and, where they need their problem solved, I'll be able to answer it. When you talk about value, I believe I'm invaluable. I think that, I can, put a price on anything that I need to. As far as you talking about financial, but as far as
However,
I'm just saying,
what are you
well, I'm just, but when you talk about spiritual mindset, vision, business, I look at it. My thing was I want to be more valuable than, I want to give more than without expectation. I learned to give without expectation because I know that it's going to come back to me.
Okay. What are you worth, Kevin?
When you ask that question, what am I worth? Here's what I know. I am. Everything you're saying, I keep hearing you are or I am. So what am I worth? First of all, I'm worth the complete wholeness that God made me, because I finally know that I'm complete, whole, and perfect as I am. Nothing has to be added, nothing is taken away. So when you ask me what I'm worth, I'm a king's kid. I put here with a message in my belly, and it's just up to me to release and let it unfold to everyone else. What am I worth? I'm worth as much as I give myself permission. And even when I don't, the worth doesn't stop. I just may not see it, but it's still there. Okay. So everything I was created, I am.
Right.
And I appreciate that question.
Ooh, what are you worth, Tammy Jones?
That's a great question. I am worth everything that my Savior went to Calvary for. I am worth pursuing every goal, dream, gift, and talent that was put in me. It is my it is my job to mine it, to refine it, and to give it back to the world. I'm worth the work that it's going to take for the highest and best version of myself to be put on display. I am worth the light that burns inside of me to be exalted. I am worth the voice that needs clarity to be amplified for the world to hear that it's possible to live your dreams, that it's possible to be and to become all that you've been created to be, because he was worth it, and because he was worth it, and I'm made in his image, therefore that makes me great by default, then I'm worth it.
Love that. Love that.
What are you worth, Sandy?
Okay, I've been on here some good. I am worth all the purpose that God put within me to be a change agent in this world, so that my hurts may be someone else's breakthrough.
Come on.
Ooh, what are you worth, April?
I am worth the love of all creation. I think God has put his complete and total love in me when he created me, and continues to. So it's that love that just flows out of me to do the work and the service that God is calling me to do. And so, I mean, I'm worth the love of creation, which is all creation. So I'm filled in every single way, needing of nothing or validation from nowhere, because it is all already in me. And so,
Yes. And see, and I always ask the question because I tell people I'm on a mission, y'all, for us to define our own worth. You know, because as we said through this show, you know, a lot of times people tell us what our life should be like, what we should do, what we should look like, what we no, you define it. So you are worth whatever it is you believe. So you're right. You're worth your vision. You're worth the calling on your life. You're worth your peace, your love,
Yes.
your joy.
Yes.
Whatever that is, you are worth it. And for everyone that's listening, I want them to know that you are worth it too. You know, we have to define it. Don't let no one else define it for you. And I love it when I do ask a question and people hesitate. Because 90% of the people, they do hesitate because we never defined it for ourselves.
Thought about it. Yeah.
Right. So I just want each and every one of you to know that you're right. You are. Whatever that is, that you're worth it. So we are going to take just a quick break, listeners. So we don't go anywhere. We're just going to take a quick break. We will be right back as we're going to talk more about the Living Your Dreams, Reaching Your Goals workshop that's going to be this Saturday in Dallas from 10 to 1. It's going to be at the Meadows Conference Center. So if you have not reserved your seat, you want to do so today because we have limited seating and we only have about maybe 10 left,
Get 'em.
if that. So go ahead and get it. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it because what we're talking about today is just a glimpse of what you're going to get on Saturday. So go ahead, and while I'm on break, you go ahead and reserve your seat. So we will be right back. Okay, well, welcome back to the Your Worth It show.
yeah.
She left me on guard with that.
All this on me so yummy. All this sauce so yummy. No, you want this yummy. Yummy all day.
Okay. Well, welcome back to the Your Worth It show. And I have just a live, fun, just day today. I'm like lost for words. Today has been just a great day as we were talking about the event that's coming up this Saturday at the Meadows Conference Center from 10 to 1. It's the Living Your Dreams, Reaching Your Goals workshop, which I am very, very excited about as the speakers will be. We have Tommy Jones, we have Jay Warren, we have Kevin Goins, we have Sandy D. Johnson, and we have April Griffin. So I am just, as I say again, I'm just so honored, and I just thank each and every one of you. I know that lives will be changed. So what do you want the guests to get out of your message, Sandy, since you're looking?
I've been going last.
So what do you want them after hearing you? What do you want? Like, say I'm sitting down and I'm listening to you speak. What do you want me to take away from what you're?
I think I want people to take away that to be emotion, to be inspired. The last time I spoke, I kept saying I'm a motivational speaker, but when I got done, everybody sat there quietly with the last thought was, I have so much work to do. I want them to be left with a thought that I have work to do, but it's possible, and I just need to step out and do it,
Okay,
regardless of my circumstances.
right,
Because as long as you have the vision, we know vision trumps circumstances.
right. What about you, April?
And for me, I just want them to know that vision is a process. Vision is a process. It's not an overnight thing. It does have to be worked out. A lot of times we have a vision and we try to jump and reach for the vision, not taking the steps to the process to get to the vision.
Right.
And so that was something that I learned at a very young age, and so that's something that I know. Like now, when I go forward and I talk to people, letting them know because you have a vision doesn't mean that you're going to manifest what you just saw. You're going to manifest the road. It's going to be a road to that. So that's what I want them to get out of.
What about you, Kevin?
You know what? When I speak, I think I want the room to be disrupted. I want them to really get past what's normal, get past okay, now that this is done, let me go back to my regular. and actually have a pause that really makes them reflect and just go in. Because what we're talking about, most of us, we know all this stuff, but most of us don't do what we know. Is anybody out there like me? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so that's kind of what I want. When I speak, I want them to hear it, be entertained with the story, but they get lost within themselves and ask themselves, am I worth it? How brilliant can I be? And what have I been doing for so long that now, when I'm left with my own thoughts, what is it? Can I even hear what I have to say? Many times online, I'm telling them, if you keep hearing your own voice and keep telling yourself, I can do this, I am that, I'm committed to this, eventually your soul will hear your voice and you get into action. So when I speak, that's what I want them to just be disrupted with the point that they're left with their own soul and a question, what will I do with what I know?
Ooh.
That's good.
What about
good.
you, Jay?
Well, what I want people to get out of it is obviously I want to be able to motivate them, because action is a big part of it, and I want them to just, to come to it, be like, okay, yeah, I'm inspired, and then just be like, okay, what does that do now? So, I'll help them break a step-by-step process on that, and its impact. So, when we were talking about purpose earlier, you are worth it because somebody who's going to come to this event on Saturday, my vision and my purpose is to, impact people. So, if I can impact me personally, if I can impact one person, it takes me 10 million people to impact one person who's going to impact 100 million people, that's what I'm gonna have to do. So hopefully I want to be able to impact that one person who's going to take action and inspire the next, the next generation.
Yes. What about you, Tommy?
Well, that was just a great setup by Jay, but
I did play basketball. Go get it.
my hope every time that I open my mouth and take a stage is that people understand that action is the antidote to all despair in any area of your life. Is that it's okay to pray, it's okay to say it, but there ultimately has to be action. Scripture says faith is now. It says that it is impossible to please your Creator without faith. But there has to be action. With faith is an action word, okay? So you have to start taking action in the direction of your goals and dreams. And let me applaud the people in advance that are coming on Saturday, because that's already massive action.
Yeah.
Now, what we need you to do is that once you get in action, is that you stay in action. And one of the ways that you stay in action is that you have to stay connected to something that's bigger than you. You have to stay connected to a source that's bigger than you. I will use an illustration on Saturday that we all have a smartphone. And as we know, if your phone stays, it has a battery life. And if it stays unplugged from a source that's bigger than it for a while, all these amazing apps that you have on your phone, what happens is they start to shut down because it's goes into conservation mode, where it's trying to conserve the battery life that it has. Typically, when it gets below about 15%, you no longer can use your flash. You can only take inside pictures, and some of the apps that need a lot of energy, you can no longer run. So what am I saying, Tommy? I am likening your life or your potential to a smartphone. There are a lot of things, ladies and gentlemen, that should be activated, and we should have access to in our life through application. That's why it's an app. But because we are anemic and we're running on little to low battery life left, we can't access those. So starting Saturday, we need you guys to plug into something that's bigger than you, which is going to be Cetra's workbook, and stay plugged in, because we are here to motivate you, which is to jumpstart. But once she gives the clarion call to her course, that's going to allow you to fan the flames that we light on Saturday.
Yes, and I just thank each and every one of you, because when I wrote the book, You're Worth It, and that's basically what it is. Like each and every one of you said, it's a call to action. So as you're going to be talking about the mindset, you're going to be talking about self-care, taking risks, networking, the importance of having a mentor, all of that is right here in the book. So as when I was writing the book, I'm like, okay, success to me may be something different to success to you and to you and to you. But we all want something more. But how do I get there? You know, the importance of you need a mentor. You need to have a coach. The power of networking. I mean, we're all here today because we met maybe at a networking event, either going to or coming from, you know, a networking event. The mindset, we are what we think. If we say we can, we can. And that's what I want everyone to know on Saturday. You can do it. You are worth your dreams. You are worth your goals. You are, you know, worth your family. And as Sandy say, no matter what the circumstances is, you can still do it. You know, so that's why I'm just so excited, you know, about Saturday. I'm so glad, you know, that God, what the vision that He gave me, you know, for this book, and it's just to take action, and that's what it's about. Because we can all just hope and wish and dream, but now what? What do we do now?
Right.
You know, how do we get to that next step? So that's something that we're going to be sharing, you know, on Saturday. So I thank, you know, each and every one of you again, because I am excited, because I know that I'm worth it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, I am worth it. And, you know, and I shared the story too, which I'll share on Saturday, you know, how the I am worth it, you know, came about. Sometimes we think that our life have to be great. Okay, you know, I need my life to be here in order for me to start my business. I need my life to be this way in order for me, you know, whatever it is that you're reaching for your dream. No, you don't.
Right.
No, you don't. They have heard it from each and every one of us. Our life wasn't all together. If you're waiting for it to be all together, it's not going to happen. It's not. But it has to be something inside of you to say, okay, I'm worth more. I want more. I want to go to the next step. Even if it's not in business, it can be just in your family life. Someone may be listening that may be a single mother and say, okay, I want to have more time with my kids. We're going to be talking about that. It may be someone that doesn't have a business and they say, okay, you know, I have a dream. I want to start a business, but how do I do it? We're going to be talking about that. You know, we're going to be talking about the balance. We're going to be talking about all of that on Saturday. So I'm telling you all that you need to be there on Saturday. And it's going to be Saturday at 10 a.m., 10 to 1 in Dallas at the Meadows Conference Center. And we're almost packed. And that's what I want it to be.
And one thing about your tribe that stretch you. So I believe, Cetra, this is just the beginning. We're going to be on the road, coming to a city near you. If you're in the city outside of Dallas and you want us to come, just inbox Cetra at what?
At info@cetrastevenson.com. Because that's what I want it to be about. You know, I want us to, you know, how can we just help people to get unstuck? Because some people feel stuck. Okay, well, how do I get out of this? It can be relationship, like I say, it can be business, whatever. We are here to help you take that step. Because that's what you have to do. You have to take the step. And also at the event, we're going to bless 2 families. Because, you know, in my heart, I feel like we have to give back. That's so important to me. I know the holiday season is coming up, and everybody is not happy during the holiday season.
That's so true.
You know, some people may be with their families and all, but then there's some that's out here that's hurting. So I know a family, and I spoke about it last week about a young lady. She just left an abusive relationship where her ex-boyfriend almost killed her, and she left. Thank God she was able to leave, and she has 4 small kids, all under the age of 10. So I said, I'm going to bless that family. And Sandy, she knows another family that's in need. They have small kids. And, you know, we just want the kids to have a normal Christmas. You know, some of our kids, you know, they may have everything they need and all that and even more. But I want us to give back. So if anyone that's coming out on Saturday, if you can, just bring a toy. I know they have toys in a dollar store. They have toys in Five Below. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, but that little 2-year-old would appreciate it. You know, a little car or blocks. So that's what I want us to do. I want us to bless a family. And we're going to even, you know, go live. We're going to go and, you know, drop the donations off. But that's what, you know, I just love how God is just connecting me and touching me so that I can help others. Because I know this show right here is not about me.
Right.
It's not about me. So that's why I bring guests on like you, Kevin, like you, Jay, like you, Tommy, Sandy, and April. because I wanted to be, how can we inspire the listeners? Because there's somebody out there that's listening that need to know I can do it. That's what it's about.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not about, oh, well, Setra, you're worth the show. No, God is using me so that I can help others. And that's what I want to do. I want to pour, I want to help others, because there is people out there that need help. I'm sure we may have been in situations where we may need help, because I know I have.
Yes.
So just to know that someone out there and that someone really cares, and just think about, you know, the kids. So that's what I wanted to do on Saturday.
I'll be posting the ages and the sizes and the sexes of the people, the young people from the family, so you know kind of what to buy. The young lady, one of them, you know, first day back to work, just a casual conversation. What did you do for Thanksgiving? Did you have turkey? You know, I was teasing all the kids about turkey. She said, no, we couldn't afford turkey. We just ate regular stuff. So we don't want them to have a Christmas where they
Right.
say, we couldn't afford no toys.
Exactly.
We couldn't get
Right.
a pair of socks. So we're going to make it great for them.
Right.
So we're taking financial donations, toys. I'll be listing the ages, the sex, and the sizes of all the young
Right.
people, so they can get a couple of outfits too.
It's-
Because you know, after
It's a
Christmas, you want to
blessing,
go
and
back.
I'm telling
with your
you, because
kids.
I've been there, and that's why I love it, because I can keep it real with y'all, because I know what it's like, you know, when you're waiting for that box to come, and they're giving you clothes and socks, and you putting it under the tree so your kids can have a great Christmas, you know? So we have to give back, you know, because it's a blessing to be a blessing. You know, so if anyone, if you can, just bring toys or whatever it is that you can. It's a family. One family have 4 small kids, and there's another family that have 5 kids. So we just want, you know, people to just, you know, have a normal Christmas if they can. So I just want to, you know, just say thank you all again. I am like super like excited, like
Yeah,
y'all, for
it's
real.
great.
Did I say for real?
For real.
Okay, for real. So that's
You
how it
missed
works.
one for real.
Excited about what's going to happen on this Saturday at 10 a.m. at the Meadows Conference Center. So go ahead and get your tickets. I can't wait to see you. I will have my book there. You're worth it. So I'm just excited. So anybody else have anything y'all want to say before we leave this evening?
If people are not attending and want to give a donation, do you have a cash app that they can send donations for toys, possibly, or a way that they can donate?
Well, I will put all of that information up on the You're Worth It radio show on Facebook. So go ahead and like that page, and I'll be putting all that information on there. So I just want to thank you all again, and get excited, get ready.
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
You ready?
Hopefully
ready,
you're ready.
Kevin?
Yeah.
You ready?
Excited. Yeah.
Is it the event today? I thought it was today.
I know we like ready. We
Yeah,
gonna come
no.
in like what's gonna be like our thing. So we gotta like come in like.
It's not gonna be level up, is it?
It might be. It might be.
We're over level up.
We're over
No,
level
there's
up.
over level
You
up.
you ready?
Encourage somebody.
Huh? Yes, please.
Anybody who's listening, guys, as you guys are, whether you have any dream in your heart or whatever that is, we encourage you to keep writing, keep speaking, keep talking, keep doing whatever you're doing, because no matter what stage you're in, you're living your dream. No matter where you are, you're worth it. And your brilliance is even in seed form. So all we're asking you to do is keep cultivating, listening to yourself, and just ask on occasion, where am I in the midst of all this life? Where am I in the midst of all the situations and circumstances? What do I love? What do I see? What do I say? And how do I cultivate that so now we can begin to give to life, not just getting? So
Right.
you guys may come to get at the conference, but those who are coming this Saturday, I'm looking for a few contributors who are going to get something, work on it, and then turn around and give it.
Give it.
'Cause that's what the life needs. We need more givers in the world. So let's take and
Yes.
give, receive and take. There it is.
Wow, that sounds good. Close us out, Tommy Jones.
Man, look, let me tell you something. We may need to just have a sleepy and a lock in. Because I think that the energy in this room and the expectations that are going to be in the room on Saturday is going to be there to help people birth their dreams. And if you've already birthed their dreams, bring us your dream. We're going to help you. We're going to teach you how to sustain your dream. And then for those of you that have lost the ability to dream, we're going to help you remove the emotional and spiritual cataracts from your eyes and help you see life in HD HD and dream in color again. But more importantly, we're going to teach you that the pursuit of your dreams are worth it. But more importantly, you are worth it. So we challenge everybody under the sound of our voice to come out and be with us on Saturday, because the session is free, but it could cost you everything if you're not there.
That's so good. Oh,
Well, you heard it. You heard it here
Now
on,
he's dancing.
on
Yeah.
the You're Worth It show.
Yeah.
So, as we said, we will be at the Meadows Conference Center. That's at 10 a.m. That's this Saturday. So you definitely want to be there. I look forward to seeing you there. And so I just want to thank you guys again for being here in the studio with me this evening. So I am super excited.